Welcome back to the Splinter Twins. I'm Kyle, that's Mark, and I guess we're a Commander show because holy, dancing monkeys, the biggest Commander news ever dropped earlier today, and we got to talk about it. Even if you don't play
Yeah.
Commander, this affects everything.
So I've been not interested in making a video about this because I think a lot of people have been talking about the recent bans that came out in Commander. If you've been living
Oh,
under a
the
rock,
bands, that's like old news now.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But we have a Magic YouTube channel, and so maybe I got some thoughts on these things. But hey, it's been well covered. There's really no reason to talk about it, right? This, though, I think is the nice sort of capstone to the shitstorm, if I can mix metaphors, to what has happened in. Kyle, can you believe that the ban statement? Do you know when that went out? That went out on the 23rd. That was
Yeah.
7 days ago.
It's been a week.
So
Just to catch everybody up real quick.
Yeah.
7 days ago, the Rules Committee for Commander announced a ban. 3 of the 4 out of nowhere. So Dockside Extortionist, Jeweled Lotus, Mana Crypt, gone, banned out of nowhere. And then they also banned Nadu Winged Wisdom, which everybody kind of saw that one coming.
And
But
wanted to happen.
the people got spicy about that ban list because, like I said, they those cards, were not on a watch list. It's not that those cards couldn't be banned, but the ruling was a bit weird, and we're gonna talk about what we think about those bans in just a second. But the other thing we have to address is the RC immediately got just absolute hate and vitriol, and I'm about to criticize some of their decisions. But if you're the kind of person, if you're the online permanent asshole troll on the internet that's like, you should die and I hate you, blah blah blah, just go absolutely to the ninth circle of hell with that shit. This is not a video that's gonna endorse that, and there's no place for that kind of bullshit.
Yeah, you're just kind of a piece of shit if you act like that. And the other thing that's crazy about it is, when I heard this, I'm not an MTG finance kind of guy. Frankly, I think that's pretty fucking stupid, actually. If you, think of these cards as investments, you're kind of crazy. But whatever, that's your business. Being in that mindset, was ignorant of these card prices. Kyle, do you know what these 3 cards cost that cause people to flip their fucking shit?
Dockside was 80. Jewel Lotus, depending on the variant, could be hundreds.
Yeah, but just standard stock still Jeweled Lotus, before the ban came out, $90.
Yeah,
you could get one. And about the same for Mana Crypt. Mana Crypt was twice as expensive, 180. Dockside 80, 90.
And Mana Crypt gets bananas depending on the variant you want.
Right. But I'm saying if you just want one for Commander, also proxies are a thing.
Yeah.
So shame on you, but that's
before we talk about the
point.
Rules Committee giving, that's what this video is about, by the way. The Rules Committee is packing it in and being like, we don't want to deal with your shit anymore. We're going to give the format to WotC. But before we get into that, let's just talk about the ban list, which I cannot wrap my goddamn head around what a Commander ban is. I don't get it. Mark and I play Commander. We are not, and we're never going to record our Commander games or something like we do when we are together and stuff. But what the fuck is a Commander ban? Are they going to come to my house and tear my cards up?
No,
I don't get this.
This has never made any sense to me. I think, for one, again, this is some hot takes, so I apologize. I do not understand why anybody takes this format seriously. I cannot conceive of it.
It's not a serious format.
It's kitchen table magic at its heart, and the idea that there ever was a group of people who say thou shalt not play Hullbreaker Horror is
a Hull Breacher is what you mean.
Oh yeah, who gives a shit? It's kind of what do we do? Why? I mean, I think at your LGS, if there's a common understanding, hey, don't play that around here because it's annoying. I don't want to watch you beat off and take your infinite turn combo or whatever. That's how it works, right? I know that's not how it works, but in our limited Commander experience, that's really kind of how it works.
I mean, what are you gonna do? Get cheated out of a game with no stakes? Yeah.
Well, I mean, some people are super into making this a competitive format, and I just am good fucking luck. I don't really know how you do that.
How do you balance a format with 3 other opponents? It is fun, Timmy nonsense, and I think the best thing about Commander is it is whatever you want it to be.
Yeah,
if you want to play Typal decks against each other, if you want to play Battleship
we're
Magic,
going with Kindred now, Kyle.
Kindred, is that what we're doing?
Stupid.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can just do that. If you want to play Chair Kindred, you can do that. If you want to play a super tight or Thassa's Oracle combo, you could do that. Do whatever you want. But that's the also reason why the RC and the bans have never made sense to me, because what like
Yeah. Now, let's talk about the specific cards, though. These cards, I think, Dockside Extortion is to a lesser degree, but really zooming in on, I want to talk about Mana Crypt and Jeweled Lotus specifically. Dockside Lotus is a busted card, but Red doesn't have a lot of
what is a
ramp, so,
Dockside
whatever.
Lotus? Can I burn that card?
Dockside Lotus is it's my new proxy. It's both.
Whenever you play your
It's a
commander,
goblin
I
that
get to play
shits
my
out
commander
lotuses.
for free. Yeah,
That's what it is. So let's look at Mana Crypt specifically. This card is stupid in Commander. Mana Crypt is dumb because it's just a big fuck you, $180. Look at me, I'm gonna pop off now. Probably do some combos and have a million accelerate. Oh, by the way, it costs no mana. This to me is when I see cards like Mana Crypt, I just kind of roll my eyes and I'm like, okay, take your your Cyclonic Rift or whatever, and I guess we're just doing Commander now, and it kind of irritates me because I'm here to do some silly stuff, and you're kind of trying too hard, and that's just how I like to play. If you want to play try hard EDH or whatever, you can. I'm not into it. So there's that one, but the one that really kind of I think is the reason why I always felt like this day was coming. I'm really sad it came this way because these 5 people on the rules committee worked, super hard to do their job and to promote this format. And I mean, it is the most popular format, and these people were in charge of it. I don't understand how WotC's not paying these people money. They should, now that especially they're done with their RC, WotC should just give them a big check. They're never going to do that because WotC be WotCing, but they owe these people for building this format to what it is. As much as I disagree or don't understand why anybody cares what they're up to, as far as the bans go, everything they've done to promote this format is laudable and amazing.
Yeah.
And it's sad that it ended this way.
The fact,
but
of
it was
the matter
always
is,
coming.
With these bans, I'm not saying it was the RC that did it. I'm saying there was a rug pull, and we can determine. And I don't think we're ever gonna know, and the Splinter Twins certainly are not going to adjudicate who is responsible for it. But the fact that Mana Crypt was just printed to move Caverns of Ixalan, and the fact that Commander Masters this summer had Jeweled Lotus on the goddamn box, that's a fucking rug pull, Mark.
Yeah. Well, I think that's kind of the point of going. The reason why this was always going to happen is because look at what Jeweled Lotus says. Spend this mana only to cast your commander. What? What is that? We talk a lot about commander cards getting printed into standard. Whatever the format is, that's a commander card. And when you have a company that is designing the game and you have a group of people that are trying to arbitrate the game, their goals are misaligned, right? For the reasons the example you just said is perfect. These people are trying to slow down the format or do whatever they're trying to do, and these people over here are trying to make that money. And this conflict cannot stand. It's just a tension that couldn't be resolved. And so it was fine to have 5 cool homies curate this format when it was just some silliness, but when WotC sees this as their golden goose, we're cooked, man. There's just no way this could last.
All right, so we got to move into the next thing then, because, and honestly, I do not fault the rules committee for doing this, because I would have done it fucking years ago. The rules committee is yeah, we quit. Just straight up, we quit. We're done. And they also in a note, they transferred control of this format to Wizards of the Coast, which I'm
I don't know what that is.
How is there some sort of orb of power that you possess that you
know.
mailed to Seattle? How did you do that?
Yeah, whoa, oh, Kyle, let's do a schism. What if we're the new rules committee, right?
So,
why not?
Mark and I are rules committee, and the only cards that are banned are counter spells.
That's it. Except for the cool ones that I like.
Yeah, Mana Drain's fine.
But to be fair though, you have just as much authority as the rules committee.
Actually, you can only play. Every deck has to have one copy of Splinter Twin in it from now on. Unbanned Twin, goddammit.
Yeah, let's do it. It's time.
But the
maybe Wizards will. They said in this note, you can read through the note. It's the link to Wizards post
in modern,
on this subject.
But whatever.
Well, yeah. But the link to this post is down there in the description if you want to read the whole thing for yourself. But WotC does specifically say they are going to review the banned list. Maybe some of that's to take the heat off. They specifically say we will not ban additional cards as part of this evaluation, end quote. So I think they're trying to be I don't know. What do you think the odds are that they're going to hit Control Z on these 3 bans?
No, because they want these cards banned.
Do they?
And yeah, and they don't have to take the heat
Do
for
they?
it. Yeah, they do. Absolutely.
Why do you want the?
Because
Why do
they
you think
sold
they
them.
want the ban?
They got the value. Time to print Dockside Fafortionist and sell it again.
I think it's bad for business. I think if they can, so think of all the goodwill that WotC doesn't have, right? If their first move is the official, custodians somehow, the bequeathed of this format is to go, hey, we saw the mean old RC made you so sad.
They're not going to do it.
We're going to give you back your toys. Because Kyle, WotC has proven time and time again, and not to be super cynical, they care about money way more than they care about the health of a format.
Yeah, and
right?
I'm telling
and if
you, they already milked it, dude. They don't care how much Jewel Lotus sells on the secondary market.
Okay.
They just sold the shit out of Commander Masters.
I appreciate
and they want
that.
to print new one.
But they want to put another card in the box next year, and they want people not to have these lingering doubts for whatever it's. But Kyle, whatever that lingering doubt is worth, the minuscule impact it's going to have on the playability of this format is less of a concern.
What you're saying makes way too much sense for WotC to do it. A company that
I think they will.
No, not going to happen. Like, okay, show bet?
Yeah, show bet.
Okay.
In 1 month, these cards will be... I'll say by 2025, because I do think they're going to have a period of we're reflecting and evaluating on things.
By 2025, all 4 of these cards are going to get unbanned, or just the 3?
No, these 3. The 3 that make sense.
You are on cocaine, and I can't wait to win this show bet. I will decide your punishment later. Let Mark know in the comments that he's an idiot.
Yeah. Ooh, no. In the show bet, come up with the punishment.
Oh,
that's what we want to hear
in the comments if you could do that.
Loser has to... ... finish the sentence. Loser has to what?
Buy the other one, the unbanned cards.
I mean, to be fair though, to my point earlier, I was looking at TCG Player. They took a big dip, obviously, when the ban announcement happened. So, Dockside Extortionist, just to highlight one, went from cruising around 85 to 30. But you know what? It's back up to 42. And Jeweled Lotus is all the way back up to 74. And freaking Mana Crypt is back up to 122. These cards are not indefinitely in the toilet. They still are worth money. And that was kind of the thing I was getting at earlier. The idea that people are going to fire off death threats because they're one $180 card got banned is madness. Why would you? What is wrong with you? I mean, truly, what is wrong with you?
The internet, where you think you can just say stuff. But yeah,
they're
gonna. Okay, and then I guess just moving forward, I think that I'm not saying this is this thing, but I'm saying we could look back at this and be like, yeah, that was kind of the beginning of the end. I'm
Commander?
being of WotC. I'm being serious. I think they might. I think they might. This control. I'm not saying this is a 50% possibility or whatever. I'm saying that there is a timeline where WotC jacks this up so hard and erodes the faith of this popular format and sort of kills Commander as a format.
Oh, yeah. Maybe. But I mean, all things are cyclical, right? And this was the Commander bubble, right? No matter how enduring, and I don't think it's going to go to zero or whatever, but whether it's Marvel movies or MTG Standard or whatever, eventually the time sets on something, right? And maybe people jam enough games of Commander or whatever, they bang their heads. We try to ban things and fix things and do things, and for whatever reason, maybe they move on to another game, maybe they move on to another format. Nothing can last forever, and so I do think WotC will cock it up because they usually do. I really don't hate to be that look how smart I am because I'm so cynical guy. That's bullshit. But I am a D&D fan and an MTG fan, and yeah, it's been a rough few years. And so I do think there will be some mismanagement, but maybe they'll do some good stuff too. I don't think, as it stands right now, they have the power to really damage this format.
Okay, so here's what they're going to do. This is the timeline for the failure. Is they're going to do everything in their power to curate Commander and make it a rotating format so they can sell more packs. Because that's exactly what they did to Modern. That's what they're in the process of doing to Pioneer. And they don't understand what people want.
Wait, what else is new? What is new? They're constantly popping out these new Commander products to sort of do the same thing with Modern Horizons.
It's gonna be way more egregious now. Because they're gonna be the ones in charge of banning and unbanning things. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna try to make it
We've seen in standard, the last several years, they have done everything they can, both on the design front and on the actual pull the trigger front to stop the bans. Remember, like several years ago when we were just like ban happy city? Again, like in the last 2 years,
Yeah,
we're
that's
talking
because
Massacre and
standard
Fable.
was failing. Commander
Right.
is rising, and they're gonna like milk its corpse for all of its blood.
Yeah, but I'm saying like I don't think they're interested in like hitting that ban button too heavy. Like they see that as a failure, and I think they're right to do so. Like obviously, you don't have to look very far to be like, what doomed the rules committee?
Snip that.
Bans.
No, it wasn't. It was inaction followed by inconsistency, and Watsy's going to be like, you know what? You're right. Actually, we should ban lots of fast mana rocks and then print newer, better, more fair mana rocks.
It's not Soul Ring, it's Moon Ring.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. I'm fairly confident. If past
I'm
is
not
prologue.
sure about that.
Just
So
gonna-
like, I mean, you think of like all the. You think of.
sorry,
all, like,
Mark. The One Ring is entering the chat. Like, yeah.
Yeah. The amount of ban cards currently in Commander, not a lot.
Was like
there's
30,
really not.
40 something.
I can't count them all, but it's like less than 100.
Yeah.
It's like 50. And most of these are like silly combo pieces. I mean, like there's some pieces of power in there,
Or
but like
Caracas or shit like that.
yeah. But a lot of it's just like, some stuff you don't want to play with. You know why it's on the list, right? You look at it and you're like, yes, I understand. But
Because Hull Breacher is deeply unfun when it happens to you.
yes, it sure is. Your Hulk gets breached. But like Golos, Tireless Pilgrim, perfect example of like, I don't want to play against this. That kind of stuff. The relevant ban list will be interesting to see. I don't know, but I told you I already have my predictions. I don't think anything's going to change with this format except for those 3 cards are going to be like a PR placation. Sorry, Control Z. We're unbanning them, and we'll see what happens.
The final thing I will say, just as a solution, if you're like, what do I do about this? How do I react to it? It's play whatever goddamn cards in Commander
just
you want.
ignore it.
That's like when I make a Commander deck, I put new cards in. I look at my old cards. I don't give a shit what I don't check the ban list. I don't care. It is irrelevant to me because the people I'm playing with and the games that I'm playing with, it's fine. I'm not uber comboing. And even if I was, and my friends were fine with that, then I'm like, good. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Let Commander be kitchen table Magic. Please just let it be that.
But they won't.
You'll have fun.
They won't,
and it'll
Mark.
be great.
They will not do that. They are incapable.
They might. It doesn't really matter, right? Like it doesn't matter what they do with this format. I think like ultimately, the reason why they control draft and standard and whatever is because they control the product. But Commander is just fundamentally past that. Like it's just different that. And yes, they will print things and wreck it with like their weird Commander cards, and they'll wreck standard to some degree by printing Commander cards into standards and making me open up draft packs and want to scream. But like,
oh, sick Leyline.
yeah, those are cool. But at the end of the day, like this format is awesome and it's casual and it's fun. And like you said, more than any other format, it can be what you want it to be, right? So if you're like already not watching this video because you're like, fuck you, I'm Hyper Commander with my competitive Commander deck. Okay, cool. Like you can literally do that. I think you're nuts, but you can do that. Who am I to tell you to stop? I'm just some guy talking into a microphone. That's not possible with the other formats, but I still think it's possible with this WotC or Rules Committee or nobody at all, right? If literally nobody ever, if WotC just took the bequeathment and chucked the Palantiri into the ocean or whatever, then it's like Commander would still be a thing, and it would.
Or we could just be the Rules Committee, which is what I think the actual take.
I mean, we are the Rules Committee,
Yeah.
Kyle. We don't have.
Yeah, that's
anyone that can
crazy.
believe
Actually,
it.
every game of Commander I'm in, I decide what I play. So here we are. Anyway,
God.
guys, let
That's
us know what you
beautiful.
think in the comments
Very
below.
zen.
Is this something you care about? Is this something that has got you thinking? Like, obviously, Mark and I are not the biggest Commander people, and I wouldn't expect like a bunch of Commander videos on the channel. But hopefully, we illustrated like why this is such a big deal for this game we love, and this affects every aspect
Yes.
of the game. Like, you could just
'Cause
be
of
a draft
big
and
money.
limited player, and this affects you. You could
This is
just
huge.
play best of one on Arena while you're on the toilet, and I promise you, this affects you. So it was definitely worth talking about it. I wanted to just record a video, having a conversation with you and get your thoughts on it. But we'll keep a tab on it. And even if it's just talking about it while we're jamming games on our normal videos, or if we need to do more videos in the future, I'm just interested to talk about this because whatever this is, it's going to have far-reaching impacts.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see you guys on Thursday with the new deck tech, new play game video and standard. And in the meantime, Magic is fun, and go out there, do some kitchen tables. I got my commanders. I'm gonna go hold them tight.
Hold
I'm
them.
gonna hold them.
Nobody can take you from me.
Nobody can take me. Sidisi, I love you.
So it's okay, Soren.